Hey everybody, this is Grace and I am just going to go drive around the block, make a video. But I wanted to say something good. There's some good news finally. And not give a whole bunch of background. But last night I checked my portal for my health care. They put everything on this one portal. Not everything, but most things. And it was from an ER visit I had earlier this week. And I had had a really terrible backache, and I had some weird feeling in my chest. And I had spoken to a triage nurse over the phone, and she suggested that I go there. Okay, there is a. Okay, anyway, suggested I go there. That's a very short, condensed version. But okay, so anyway, so the test results, I had 11 results that were on my portal from that last visit to the ER, and I didn't read all of them. Some of them I didn't know what it was, and I didn't want to have to go through all that thinking, well, what does this mean and all that. Not anymore. So I read the ones that I needed to read about, that I wanted to know about my CT scan and chest X-ray. And it was like they had told me when I was discharged from the ER. She basically says nothing's wrong. Nothing has really changed since, that I had been in there before, like 6 weeks or so before, and it was all looking good. So, and you still don't know what caused my backache. She said it could be, how does she put it, musculoskeletal, some term like that. I pulled a muscle. That could be something like pulled a muscle or strained it somehow. But anyway, it's bad. I'll tell you that. It's still not going away. So I got the results, looked at them last night, and I was like, wow. And I called Adam. I didn't know where he was going to be, in the house or in the garage. Okay, I had to clip some of that out of there. But I called Adam because I didn't know where he was going to be, in the house, walking outside, in the garage with the dog, walking the dog, whatever. So I just called him, and I have to have this backache. So I'm trying not to move around too much. And so I called him, and I told him, I said, you're not going to, I told him, I said, I got really good news. And I told him what it was, and he said, I just don't believe it. He didn't say I don't believe it. He said, I got to see it myself. I got to see it myself. Second time yesterday, he said he had to see something himself. And he knows I don't lie. But it's not a habit of mine, like it is for some. But so he came in there. I was in that front room, and he read it, and he was like, wow, okay, because I had to wait for somebody to come. I don't put people's kids in my videos, and I don't know if that's a teenager or a young man. But anyway, so it was surprising, because about 7 weeks ago, around 7 or so weeks ago, I was diagnosed with, in that same ER, with the cardiologist called it heart failure. He did not say congestive heart failure. He did not say chronic heart failure, as did the follow-up cardiologist I saw 2 weeks later. Just said heart failure, and both of them basically said the same kind of thing, each different time, which was the first one at the ER. He said it's a really harsh term, heart failure. So just don't get too freaked out about, or too something about it. But basically, I'll paraphrase, too freaked out about it, because it's basically just a warning to me. And the cardiologist followed up with basically said the same thing. But on the notes, one of these notes, everywhere I go, whether it's just a doctor's office, just see a nurse, the one when I go into the hospital ER, when I was actually admitted last year to the hospital, they give discharge papers. I mean, even the doctor, even the nurse practitioner, they give this, and they look the same. They're in the same form, everything. A discharge paper. It's kind of weird. I don't know if they use separate terms for them, but they're the same kind of format, same kind of information, all that. Anyway, but one of those since then had said, I think it was either congestive and then in parentheses chronic heart failure, or the other way around, chronic in parentheses congestive heart failure. Now, okay, and apparently there may be some significant difference. And last night when I read those, the good news, when I read it, also it said I had they said back then that I had that and an enlarged heart. Well, this week when I went to the hospital, I read those results last night. The results said the heart is not enlarged. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Now, here's the thing. I looked it up. I had already knew some of this, but taking those medications, the one that I had to fight tooth and nail with the new cardiologist's office staff, including the nurse, to try to get them to understand me. Apparently me asking, I am calling to get XYZ prescription renewed, they could not understand that. None of them. 3 people. Okay, 3 different people. They could not understand me saying, I'm calling to get XYZ prescription renewed. You know, XYZ is not the prescription, but you get it. Apparently that's just too confusing. And it had to bring about a bunch of drama. Finally, I spoke twice, 2 different triage nurses over the phone, and I think one of them got really ticked off because of what they were doing to me. You know, classified as I'm doing parentheses, heart patient. And she did something about it. And the doctor renewed that prescription. Okay. So, anyway, the prescription I've been taking, it's actually 2 prescriptions, but the one that I needed renewed, apparently it's gold. It's worth its weight in gold or something. But it's a supplement. It's actually a supplement that goes with the prescription. Okay. And that's the supplement was the one I was having trouble. It has to be ordered that way. Not, I can't get it off the shelf. So there's a difference in something. Some chemical or something, but it's a supplement. Okay. Weird. Anyway, apparently me taking those all this time and telling them I am not going to take that other one he wanted me to switch to, because I took it for 2 days, and immediately right after I took the first pill, I got ill, very ill. And then I took the next one the next day, thinking, okay, maybe it was food poisoning. It was not food poisoning. I've never had food poisoning that kind of way. The whole combination of it was weird. And then the next day, I took the second one and it was just getting worse. So I stopped taking it. I said, I'm not going to do this again. You know, that 2.5 years I was on some medication, no doctor, after quit counting, after 21 healthcare professionals, 5 different ERs, and 2.5 years. And I finally figured out I was allergic to a medication. I was on none of those over 21 healthcare providers even suggested that. I'm not doing it again. I'm not. If I have a bad reaction to a medication, that's it. But that doctors, you know, they kept telling me, the doctor said, do this. The doctor said, try it again. This. No, y'all need to listen. There's an old expression, I don't know, I guess you call it a Southern expression. Its grammar's pretty bad, but it does make sense. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Think about it. If it's not broken, why are you trying to fix it? So anyway, that triage nurse, I think she got fed up. So, she wasn't the same triage nurse I spoke to the time before, but she told me, this one told me, she goes, I'm reading your all that transpired between you and this nurse in this office, and like I said, she really didn't comment much past that. She said, yeah, I'm reading it. This kind of thing. Next thing I knew, it was fixed. So I had to fight tooth and nail to be able to stay on a medication that was working apparently really well and helped me where my heart is no longer enlarged. Okay, good news. Great news. That was from the CT. They did a CT, and they also did, for two different things, but CT and chest x-ray. I don't know which one, or if both, because they did it all the way up to my neck, past my neck or somewhere like that. And I don't know which did what, but I read all of the stuff, and everything was good. Everything was going good, so that's great. Some good news, because I don't know if I mentioned on this channel, but one of my dogs, it was really weird coincidence. It's definitely a coincidence. We found out just I think this past week, or this week, today's Saturday, but he had an enlarged heart, and he also had pneumonia, and his heart couldn't take it, and we lost him. And a very sad situation. It was so weird because it was just 6 weeks, 5 weeks or so after I was diagnosed with the enlarged heart and all. I did not have pneumonia though. So, but anyway, it had been, having some good news, so wonderful, because that wasn't all that happened. So much like a snowball, snowballing. Just more and more and more and more problems kept coming up. So anyway, I just wanted to do that, and I said that I was going to make that short, right? Okay, I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.